Welcome back to Midpoint. Former seven-term Republican Congressman from Oklahoma, Ernest Istook, joins us today. Congressman, just to go ahead and finish up what we were talking about just a couple of moments ago before we move on to Iowa, in your opinion then, when it comes down to solving a lot of these problems, you talked about constituents getting to their government right now, telling them not to vote, but what else? Who's the biggest offender in all this? I mean, who's driving this boat on a regular basis that wastes all this money? There's got to be somebody sitting there who's making it all happen.
It's not just one person. It's a vicious cycle. When people get billions of dollars from taxpayers and they use that to hire lobbyists, to make political contributions, to organize expensive public relations, advertising, and propaganda campaigns. It's a whole group of people. You can't say it's just one. Now, I want to give you a quote, though, from one individual who is a major wind energy investor and getting a lot of these tax benefits. Warren Buffett, and I'm reading you a statement from Warren Buffett. These are his words, not mine. Quote, "We get a tax credit if we build a lot of wind farms. That's the only reason to build them. They don't make sense without the tax credit." Those are Warren Buffett's words. The people that are making this investment recognize that unless they can get these crony capitalism dollars, it's a bad investment. But government is paying them to do that. It's paying some people to get rich at our expense while our utility bills go up. President Obama said he wants to make people's electric bills skyrocket. Well, the more people use wind energy instead of affordable energy, the higher the bills are that you're going to pay. And if you're a senior citizen or somebody else on fixed income, that's a problem. So people ought to do two things. They can find out more at the website, wasteinthewind.org. And you can contact your member of Congress and saying, don't let this happen. We've got a chance to kill this. Do it now. The phone number at the congressional switchboard.
Oh, let's not go ahead and give out the phone number right now. I'm always fearful of giving out phone numbers, right, Congressman. We'll go ahead and give them out and give out the website. That's a good idea.
Any number of numbers through that phone number.
Phone numbers are always a bad idea. A couple of minutes that we have left here. Let's go ahead and turn to Iowa just a little bit. What's your early take? Go ahead.
Are a good idea because people can't reach their members of Congress if they don't call them. If members of Congress don't hear from people.
Okay.
Phone numbers are not a bad idea. They're a good idea.
Okay, go ahead and give the phone number then, Congressman. I want to make sure you get it in there.
Okay. That's the U.S. Capitol switchboard. You can reach every member of Congress with that one.
Okay. A couple of minutes we have left here. Let's go ahead and look at what's happening in Iowa. What's your take on some of the early voting and some of the early trends that we're seeing from Iowa? Because it's fascinating, the race that's going on there, and it's just it's been bouncing here for a couple of weeks. What's your take?
Sure. With Joni Ernst, of course, is the Republican nominee, and she seems to be taking the lead polling in Iowa. And the early voting trends seem to show that Republicans are bringing ballots back and doing the early voting before Democrats, which is a good thing from my perspective. And it's contrary to a lot of popular trends. I think that's just one symptom of things that are happening in races all over the country. I hear that Mark Udall is falling behind in Colorado, for example, to Cory Gardner. Certainly, we're seeing Mark Begich is probably going to be unelected in Arkansas. I think what's happening in Iowa is part of a national trend. It's not isolated to Iowa.
So as we get a little bit closer to the midterms here, how do you then look at a lot of the discourse about Democrats who are running from the president at this point and who simply will not answer any questions regarding their relationship with the president? That does have to make some people on the right smile a little bit as we get closer to voting day.
Well, sure. When people vote, 97, 98% of the time for the Obama agenda, and then you ask them a simple question about who did you vote for in 2008? Who did you vote for in 2012? People talk about that all the time, but they get on their high horse because they don't want to say that they voted for Barack Obama. Michelle Nunn in Georgia refused a bunch of times to answer that question before it was pulled out of her. That's become a controversy in North Carolina, where Senator Kay Hagan doesn't even want to show up for debates because she doesn't want to answer questions about that, and also questions about what evidently is some crony capitalism involving her own family, getting almost $500,000 in federal benefits. Crony capitalism has become a huge subject all across the country. People ripping off taxpayers for their own benefit. No wonder we've got such a huge national debt.
It always comes around, one way or another, Congressman, doesn't it always come around to crony capitalism? We talked about that 10 minutes ago, and it's pretty much the same thing in any line of business and politics, isn't it?
Sure, that's one reason government has gotten so big and so overwhelming and so intrusive, because there's people who profit from big government. Some of them receive the money directly, like the crony capitalism and the wind energy subsidies. Other people are part of the political class, that the more money goes into government, the money therefore finds its way into politics, and it breeds all the political activists that
Indeed it
work
does.
for taxpayers' money.
Congressman Ernest Istook, thank you so much for joining us, sir. We'll look forward to talking to you again.
Okay, thank you.
All right, breaking back, we'll be joined by a former governor who now runs a marijuana business. Later on this hour, take a good look, because you probably won't be seeing that Sears sign at the mall much longer. More from the Money Master when we continue right here on Midpoint.